Welcome back to In the Box. I'm Sandy Plashkis. Before we get down to business today, make sure you head over to Instagram and follow us at OwnersBox. And also head down to the bottom of the screen to like, comment, and subscribe to let YouTube know that this podcast fucks. On today's episode, we talk about the return of the NFL and the new rules for this season, the 2021 Super Bowl odds, and the MLB COVID schedule changes that have been happening lately. Let's get the ball rolling. Today, I'm joined by Rocher and our good friend Dev over here, who is the coldest man in the world at picking NHL games. We will talk about that later. But today, we are going to start with the NFL. We are on the brink of the season here. Everything's, up in the air with the COVID situation, everything with the health and safety rules that the players have been tweeting about. So let's dive right into it. So the NFL starts on the 10th of September, which is just under a month now. What do we think is going to be different about this season overall from your guys' perspective?
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of commute as a team. Massive rosters. You go in every week with more than 50 guys on your team. So just kind of seeing how they decide to commute and how they, from a PR point of view, are taking care of themselves throughout the season is going to be the biggest change, honestly.
What about you, Jeremy?
I think you see it as like offense are kind of like QBs are like they don't really care because like the fans get in their head sometimes and you can see that, and then defenses they're kind of like fuck, like we rely on
the
fan
crowd
energy,
noise,
like
right?
Even playing in like high school football, like you don't get many fans out, but when they do come out, you're amped, you're ready to go. So like not having anyone to like pump you up, it'll be interesting how that affects them. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting. You brought up quarterbacks and how on the offensive side of the ball, they are always, for the home team, when they're at home, they're always quieting down the crowd, so they can make their audibles, make all these specific calls, right? And I think it's going to be cool to hear. We're going to be hearing a ton of audio from the field, I think.
Yeah, it's going to
be. Because in football, like basketball is one thing, like we've heard some F-bombs, we've heard some swearing in NBA. Yeah. But like football is such a gritty sport. Like you're in the fucking trenches with these guys, right?
Every single play.
Yeah, every single play. And like I think we're gonna hear some wild shit. And I think it's gonna play into the offense's favor a lot, like you just mentioned. But I think the defense is gonna be like it's a huge hit for them because like at home when you're fucking in your own red zone, you're back against the wall, like your crowd is going wild and like that fucks with the offense. So I think it's gonna be interesting to hear like the hot mics from all these players.
I think it's gonna be kind of funny to hear kind of some of these audibles, like you get the Peyton Manning like awkward turtle going on and what they're yelling and all these little different things. I think it'd be kind of funny.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. And I think I read something this morning that teams have to enforce social distancing throughout training camp. Like how. In football, a sport where contact, as you said, is happening every single play, do you think that's even possible?
No. They say the same thing in MLB. Those rules came out, and everyone's like, "These are the dumbest rules ever." You watch the game, and like, are any of these rules enforced? They're not allowed to high five and stuff.
Yeah,
you like
go check out that batting box after the game. I bet you it's disgusting.
Yeah. I'm just like, it's so hard for me to understand like how in the NFL's format, MLB is one thing. Like they're still high fiving in MLB. Yeah. We see that home runs. Their guys are air fiving and they're still getting close to each other.
Actually, the Braves walk off last night. Yeah, it was kind of cool. Did you see that?
They're doing like now the walk off where they all just jump in the air.
But like in NFL, say like a big sack happens, like guys always jumping on each other, like going crazy.
Yeah. And they will.
They're gonna do that naturally, is my point. And like they're saying in the training camp facilities, like that's one thing. Like I feel like they can do a decent job isolating there, but like on the field, like in practice. What are you gonna like not hit the guy? Like 6 feet of distance. Like let's not touch each other. Like it just doesn't work in my eyes.
And honestly. I know I've seen this. I'm not sure if they're actually like gonna make this a thing or not. But Oakley came out with full face mask shields, like not just the eye shields.
Yeah, I saw those. Pull up the same thing.
Pull up those new NFL COVID face masks. It looks like some Bane shit or something. Like literally, you can't see their face. It's a full visor.
I heard that
Ray Lewis Super Bowl 47.
I heard that college hockey they're making their players wear fish bowls. Most of the leagues.
That's the one right there. I need the to the right one more. The blueprint one. Yeah, that's what it is. It's literally so it's imagine your visor over your head and then over your mouth. So players said they tested it and they're like, fuck no, I'm not
They're
wearing
just
that
gonna
You
shit.
probably
fog
can't
that shit
breathe.
How are you supposed to breathe?
Yeah.
You're literally like, especially those big 300-pound
Yeah.
linemen who are gassing it. Like those guys can already barely breathe. What do you
Buddy
think they're
just
gonna
ran
do?
40 yards throwing blocks, and
Yeah.
he's got to come back.
It's just like that shit like that. It's one thing. Like you can't even wear. What are you gonna wear a mask under your helmet? Like that's just straight. Someone could pass out and die.
That
from
would be funny.
Like,
Yeah.
I think that's one reason why. In the NFL's case, this whole social distancing thing is going to be just out of the window, and I think
They're
see.
going to make the protocols just to say that they did, basically.
I know, and that's what I felt like the MLB did that, but MLB has a lot more flexibility with schedules and stuff like that, which we will talk about later. So I think they can have some leeway there, but NFL, they can't miss a game. Like if one miss a game, the whole season schedule is fucked. You know what I mean? And we're gonna dive deeper into that, but. Looking at these measures, I don't think this satisfies, safety at all. I don't think like people are gonna still spit on each other. People are gonna still do all that dirty shit that they say they can't do.
Well, it's one thing to not enforce your own protocols. It's another to just not have any. So
Yeah. Do you
honestly,
think they
like
just- yeah.
it's just to make him happy. Like,
They're gonna have, but remember the players. Like there was a lot of notable guys, like Drew Brees. Pretty much anyone that was notable in the NFL was tweeting like at NFL. Remember that? They're like, you guys have no safety in place. Like you've had 4 months to do it. Like all these other leagues were already mid-season. Like and they're figuring it out before we do. Like I think that. I wonder if we're gonna see a lot of resentment from the players in terms of like if an outbreak does happen.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll be like, all right, like fuck the NFL, like fuck Roger Goodell for not putting more safety protocols in place? Do you think that's going to be a result of it, or do you think it's going to be kind of a players understand what they're getting themselves into kind of thing?
I mean, we saw like you have players now speaking out. Like they were speaking out. I know Todd Gurley was one of them.
Yeah.
Speaking about the safety concerns, and now you got players coming out saying like we shouldn't have a season really. Like you saw Odell. Like, what did
Yeah.
you guys think of his tweet?
I saw that tweet and I heard there was a backstory to it. Like he gave the interview. The interview was like a month before, and they released it like a month later. I was listening to Colin Cowherd this
okay.
morning, so it was
Yeah.
like not fake news, but it was like delayed news almost. So Odell actually like fired back at that reporter. Was like, "What the hell?" Like
what did it say?
It was like it basically said that what Jeremy
Yeah.
just said, like Odell thinks the season should be canceled, which he did say, but it was literally a month before they released the article, which was last week, I believe, or early this
Yeah,
week.
it was like sometime.
And everyone was like, "Yo, Odell, what the fuck?"
Yeah,
Like,
everyone was-
and this is like this is from the point, like from the players tweeting at this league, like figure it out.
Yeah.
They've started to figure it out a little more, and then Odell like gave that interview late, way before, and they released it now. So it looks like he said it, but he was actually pissed about it. He's like, "I didn't say that at this time,and all that shit." So-
Sitting at home,
And
hoping
then-
that there's one less year that he has to try and
Yeah.
catch passes from Baker Mayfield.
I think the Browns will be good.
Fuck,
I don't
this
think
is
the
a long year.
I think the Browns have a chance. They got Austin Hooper. They got a lot of depth at a lot of positions. Running back, receiver obviously with Odell and Jarvis.
I mean, you
Brown's
said the
gonna
exact
Brown.
same thing last year.
Brown's gonna Brown. Honestly,
Yeah.
like leave it to the Browns. It's just a losing organization.
I mean, literally, the only piece that they really added was Austin Hooper. They had Njoku before anyway.
I know, and it's just like the one thing I think about is like all of these teams, like the Browns they should be good. Everyone had expectations for them. I feel like that put pressure on Baker, who's like a second-year guy, now he's moving on later in his career, but he has to prove himself. Like he hasn't had a good year. First overall pick. Like if he doesn't show up, I think he's gonna be out. He'll be out of there sooner than later, honestly.
I'm betting that if the season goes as planned, week 6 we see Case Keenum in there throwing bombs.
Case Keenum.
he wasn't
didn't-
bad with the Vikings.
Yeah,
when they had that
the
playoff
Vikings, that team on the Vikings, they had the best defense like ever.
Yeah.
They had they had Diggs, they had Thielen, they had a dope skill position guys. They had Cook. It was like Kirk Cousins could have succeeded. Like he succeeded in that offense.
Yeah.
Like it's just,
Yeah.
I don't think Baker gets benched unless it's really, really bad. Like last year, terrible year.
Very bad.
If he replicates what he did last year, if he does the same shit, all those INTs, he'll see the bench this year, I think.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go ahead and say Case Keenum's gonna go air it out and light it up. But
In my dynasty league, I drafted Case Keenum with a 6th-round pick just to have him.
why you're
Just in
assuming,
case.
you're assuming a bench job
I've
coming soon?
I've got Baker, so I had to handcuff him because I just don't have any confidence. I'm a Ravens fan too, but
Yeah. So speaking of safety protocols, let's kind of keep going on this discussion. Virtual meetings are encouraged, and also they're not encouraged; they're almost mandatory. But how do you coach? Like, think about the rookies coming in. I feel like with no preseason games being the first thing, all these virtual meetings. Do you think these first-time NFL guys are going to be losing a ton of opportunity? To show
time.
themselves? Like I listened to Colin Cowherd this morning. He was talking about all these guys who are going to get cut from the roster without even playing a game.
Yep.
Like, can you imagine that? Because usually rookies get 4 games of playtime in the preseason, right?
Yeah.
So there's
some
like a
kind of
huge
tape.
there's a huge debate between pro preseason guys and not, like a lot of the veterans, coaches are against preseason for reasons like we don't want guys to get hurt and all that shit. But I think it's definitely some downside there. What do you guys think about it?
To not having preseason games?
Yeah.
Oh,
are you
yeah,
a favor?
definitely.
Are you a fan of it or are you not a fan?
There's two sides of it. I mean, there are the veterans that don't want to get injured, and then there's the rookies and undrafted guys that need their opportunity. So, I mean, it depends on really who you're advocating for.
From a fan's perspective.
Oh, from a fan's perspective?
Not like, just think of it from your perspective. What would you like? What do you think is better? I know we haven't seen no preseason,
I like seeing a preseason game. I don't really care that much whenever they get into the third and fourth quarters, whenever you start seeing those third and fourth string guys that like aren't going to play anyway.
I usually flip it off at like halftime.
Exactly. I like to see like what my team looks like, and it's kind of cool to brag like, oh, my team went 4-0 in preseason.
Yeah.
I don't think it's essential to the year, like to the season at all. And most football fans, there's enough going on that you'll find something to keep you interested regardless.
Sure. And I think about it from like a fantasy perspective. Like you're gonna want to see your guy, like some guys play before the season starts. Like a lot of rust. Week 1, we'll see a ton of rust out there. Like they're not going to be in full form, I don't think. And I also think about injuries as well. Like these guys, they haven't. When's the last time they played a game? Some of them not since the last game of the regular season last year. Like it's been a long time. So
there's another end to that too, though, in terms of injuries and prolonging your season is that guy that just breaks down week 12 because he just played 4 preseason games in 12 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. But I think it's more about like limiting the amount of time on the field, like limiting the amount of outings where two teams have to face each other. Like they want to isolate as much as possible, and I think that's the real driver of this no preseason. But it's going to be interesting to see, like as we talk about with all the MLB changes we talked about, like the runner on second base, extra inning stuff, 7-inning stuff. Do we think we see no preseason going forward, or do you think they're going to resort to the normal format back once COVID's done?
I think worst case scenario they'll reduce the amount of preseason games.
Yeah, I think that's that ship sailed. Honestly, I think they're all even like you listen to like Bill Belichick, he's like, fuck it, I don't care about preseason. Like you heard Jimmy Johnson, ex-Cowboys coach on air last week. He was like, yeah, man, I don't even care. Like I wouldn't even after the first quarter, like it doesn't even really matter. Like the people we're just giving people opportunity to play. Like that's pretty much the only real downside to it that I see, honestly.
There are a lot of teams though. Like I know being a Ravens fan for one, I can't remember. It's like every year.
Are you a Ravens guy?
Big Ravens guy. Big time. Big time. Big time.
This is your fucking year, buddy. This is your year.
You saw me walking around with my Flacco jersey.
I thought you were just a fucking Flacco guy.
I got like 3 of them, all different colors.
That's unreal.
No, but like teams like that, I think it was like since 2006 or something. Every year they had a guy on their main roster who was an undrafted free agent.
Yeah, you think like guys like Moser. I picked him like the 5th round of my Champions fantasy.
Was it the 5th or was it the 2nd?
No, it wasn't. It was like
it wasn't.
I thought it was a third.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was
like 4 months ago. He almost got cut from the team this year when he tried to raise his contract.
My last pick, I took Des Bryant.
He's like, got him for a steal. He's trying to tell us that you got him for a steal.
I got him for like 3rd or 4th round. I don't remember. But anyways, it's gonna be tough for those kind of guys to break out unless they do early on in the season. But like you're not gonna know his skill set, how it plays out in an NFL scenario unless you see him in the regular season. So much less opportunity coming for these kind of players. So let's talk about, do we think the NFL will have to change their schedule at any point? And think about it through the lens of the MLB, as we said earlier, who has much more flexibility, who has changed the rules mid-season to go to 7-inning doubleheaders and play more games. In the NFL's case, what do you think is going to go on there if we see outbreaks with COVID?
The only time that they will have to cancel a game is if someone gets tested positive and they find out the day of the game or the night before. It's the only way. Like if they find out during the week, they'll figure something out to get the game in. But it'll be interesting. If one game gets canceled, then someone's going to have to play twice in a week, or they'll just delay it, which they can. Like they can just postpone the game.
I mean, you can play Thursday, then come back around and play Monday if you
that
had
would
to.
That would be crazy.
See, that's the thing, though, is like, I don't know, I played football, and like, you can't just get, it's not baseball where you can play 6 games a week.
Either,
These guys are fucking going out there trying to kill each other. Like, you're sore as shit. Like, you need at least like a good 5 days to recover. And like, even a week is, I mean, players are still sore going to the next week with injuries and stuff nagging, right? So I don't think they have very limited flexibility. And I think even one couple guys on a team, or even a couple, if more than one team happens, like with the Cardinals scenario with the Marlins and the MLB, I think we'll see some trouble stuff.
The Cards just postponed their game today too.
again.
Yeah, today against the Cubs.
Fuck,
More positive.
God.
So you see how spreadable the virus is. It's like one guy gets it, everyone. If you're in a tight knit situation, everyone gets it. And you think the NFL, there's so many players on a team. They will not be able to control these guys when they're at the hotel and they want to go out. Like the MLB can't even control their players. Imagine trying to tell these NFL guys,
And the thing
they will
is,
not listen.
No, that's so true. And the thing is, it's a full NFL season. Like they're
Yeah.
bound 16 weeks
Yeah.
just for the season. You don't think those guys can go have a
Yeah.
drink, go do
Yeah.
something
14
fucking
days.
crazy?
You know they're partying out when they're out, and
Oh my
it's
God.
just gonna be someone will get coronavirus. Like I think
sure.
for sure, and it's just a matter of how they're gonna handle it.
Yeah, but it's like, think about it this way. Like, yeah, Lou Williams goes to the strip club.
Yeah.
Has the possibility of infecting other players.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, there's a fourth of the amount of players in the NBA as there is in the NFL. Like, that is a crazy number. So think about all those rosters, all those 30 plus NFL teams.
Yeah.
They're something bound to happen
But
over
the
16
same
weeks.
thing, like against other sports, they're not playing half as often, and you're not
Less travel.
Yeah,
that's
that's-
right.
yeah.
Less travel.
You're not
That's
going
true.
Tuesday playing against 30 guys, and then Wednesday playing against 30 different guys, and then day off Thursday, Friday, a new pack. Like,
It's interesting. That's a good point. And like sometimes exactly. Some teams will play back-to-back home games. That's 2 full weeks of no travel for them.
and I think the especially because of the fact that we're not seeing NFL until September, we're gonna go on a little bit further. We're gonna see what happens with other
That's
sports.
true.
And these guys are gonna be told like, yo, if you get caught going out, like we're gonna fine your ass.
Yeah, and the NFL, I think, will be really strict about it because they really want the money. Like they're always revenue.
They wanna be able to get
They wanna
fans in
get
there.
a
Yeah.
full.
But
They,
what do
they
you-
already said like the Ravens Stadium they're gonna get 18K. We
Yeah.
talked about that in
But
episode 1. But
What do you tell a player like during the week? They're going to be commuting, obviously, from their home to the practice facility to practice. What do you tell them? You got to lock yourself at home. Like, is that the ruling?
Yeah,
you
and,
can't
like,
control
think
where
about all
these
those
guys go.
Yeah, exactly, and it's gonna
Like-
be, and that's the biggest worry is a lot of players opting out. So like looking at the statistics here, players had until this Tuesday at 4 p.m.
4 o'clock.
Eastern to opt out of the season. 67 out of 2,880 players opted out.
Not that bad.
Yeah.
What do you think about those numbers? You always see the reports in the news of how many players opt out. You never see the ones that aren't opting out. So it feels, for me at least, it felt like there was a lot more people opting out than there actually was. So are you surprised that there's 67 out of almost 3,000, or what do you think?
I'm not surprised. I mean, the truth is they're giving them a free way out.
Yeah.
And if they want to take it, they want to take it. Most of the time, they're going to say it's coronavirus, but really, it could be to spend time with the family, which I don't agree with them opting out. But at the same time, I'm not going to chirp them and be like this. Like you see the Tre'Davious White thing with the Bills.
Yep.
And he's getting
Get
he's
ripped.
getting what is he getting? He's getting chirped behind his back or
He's
something.
like,
Or
yeah, they
people
don't.
are.
And he tweeted last night. He's like, my grandfather passed from COVID. Like he literally had his grandfather pass from COVID.
Yeah.
So
So,
it's
like-
how do you blame the guy? Like,
Yeah, like you know,
cannot
like
blame
he has a
him.
family and he has young children. Like he sees a way out, and he sees that it potentially could affect his family. But people messaging him and
That's the thing.
giving
is,
him
like,
threats, come on, it's
never
too far.
You never know what someone's situation is.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
as a fan, especially if it's my
You always
team,
wanna see him
I'm
out.
sure mostly it's the fans of the team that
Oh,
are
yeah,
chirping him.
definitely.
Like,
It's the
what the
Bills.
fuck? Like, yeah, he's like one of the best corners in
Yeah.
the league. Like,
Well, I was talking to my buddy just the other night.
he a Bills fan?
He's a Bills fan. Taylor, shout out.
Proud of Buffalo, baby.
No, we were talking about Tre'Davious White, and he kind of made a good point. He said, this guy's coming up for a new contract soon. He's going to hold out.
Yeah.
Bills aren't going to be able to defend shit, and then they're going to pay him. He is going to
yeah.
secure the bag.
oh, is he in a contract year? Is that what it is?
If he's not this year, it's coming right
Yeah,
up.
he's
But
gonna get
he's
paid.
he's
He's good.
due for
He's
big
gonna get
money.
paid. I mean, realistically,
Yeah.
he's a top guy. He's a Pro Bowler.
So
he's gonna get
an
paid,
opt
period.
out, get yourself right,
And
show them how much they need you. It
Yeah,
could
it's
get
like
pretty
David,
good.
It's like David Price. David Price has
Same
enough
situation.
money, and he found a way out, and he took it.
That's the thing. Another example on the same tangent is the Patriots. Everyone is saying that the Patriots players, there's been I think there's 8 or 9 players that have opted out. I think it's 8.
yeah, they have a lot.
People
actually.
are saying that Bill Belichick is strategically having their best players
Oh,
are
yeah, I
to
heard
sit
about
out so
that.
they can tank and get Trevor Lawrence.
Oh my god!
No,
literally.
fuck.
Okay, it sounds crazy. It sounds fucking crazy. Bill loves winning too. That's one thing where it
We'll
makes
see.
me think. but he's a long-term guy. He wants a quarterback. They have who are they starting this year? Cam.
Cam Newton.
They signed him, but like they were gonna start Stidham before Jared Stidham. Like that guy was no way that guy was gonna play a fucking snap for him. Like
Brian Hoyer.
Belichick was gonna cook something up. But looking at it
Super
this
Bowl
way,
MVP or Super Bowl champion Brian Hoyer.
that's a joke. But
It's not. It's a real thing.
but like, do you think I personally, as someone who I've watched the Patriots, the way they play, I think it's a strategy. I think they might. It's going to be a benefit to them because if they suck this year, which is possible, they lost. They have no O-line. They had a shit O-line last year. No receiver. I don't even know a few receivers have opted out already, and I couldn't name the rest of them.
Probably just Edelman's
And
playing.
like Edelman's playing, I know he is, but the defense. But on
Nikhil Harry.
is he? I thought he. No, he did.
Did he opt out? He didn't opt out. No, he's
but
been
the
working
defense,
hard. With
everyone on
him.
the defense is opting out. Like their linebackers, they had. Looking here. Running back
Hightower,
Brandon
right?
Bolden, Danny Vitale, Marquise Lee, tight ends, two of their tight ends, Marcus Cannon, their tackle, and Patrick Chung and Dante Hightower.
Dante Hightower and
Dante
Patrick
Hightower and
Chung are the
Patrick
big
Chung are
ones.
like their best players because
Yeah.
they lost Kyle Van Noy. He went to
Yeah.
I think he went to Dolphins this year.
Lions.
Okay, maybe the Lions. I'm wrong on that. But Dante Hightower and Patrick Chung. Those are their other two best defensive players.
Yeah.
And Bill Belichick, defensive guy. Like, you think he's either pissed off that they're opting out or he told them. And I think it's likely they wouldn't be mad, is all I'm saying, to have a shit season this year if they can get Trevor Lawrence. That's going to be the best QB in the draft. And there's two other QBs in the draft that are going to be nice this year. So they need one. Everyone, Colin Cowherd said that he thinks they're tanking, but no one else really does. I mean,
It's so hard to tank. Like what did the Bengals end up with last year? What pick was their pick? Oh my god.
got first
Oh
pick.
my
They got
God.
first pick. Is this guy insane?
No, it's not the Bengals I'm thinking about. It's not the Bengals I'm
should
thinking
we
about.
remove him off the podcast? You guys comment below. Devin
not-
here
yeah.
asked.
It's not the fucking
Comment below. Insult Devin in the comments. He just said what pick did the Bengals have last year? And they picked Joe Burrow, arguably like the most notable college football
Arguably
player in the
got-
last few
yeah.
decades.
It's
Like,
not the Bengals I'm thinking about. It was somebody else, like the Giants or something, who they should have ended up with the number one pick. But there's like 6 other teams that didn't win a game all season. So how can you really tank?
I thought it doesn't the NFL do worst record? They don't
Yeah.
do a lottery, right?
Exactly.
no, they don't do a lottery.
But they tried to tank and they ended up winning a couple games.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah.
Like you won
control
2
that.
games and they ended up with like the 4th pick or something stupid. Don't quote me on that.
yeah, I mean, looking at it, I'm trying to find the draft list so I can make fun of you and find the team. Let me find it. Hold on a second.
Bill Belichick probably sent some nicely coded email that said, "If you
It
guys
was the
want to opt
Giants,
out."
and they did end up 4th. Screw
Yeah,
you
it
guys.
was- so the Bengals had the first pick last year, believe it or not. The only person in the world who did not know that is my friend here, who's also the co-host. Cincinnati Bengals, 2-14. Washington football team got the second pick. Detroit Lions, 3rd, and Giants 4th. Is that who you said?
That's what I meant.
Who would you say? Who
Giants.
The Giants weren't that bad last year.
They won 4 games.
4
dude.
games.
Yeah, but they weren't. They weren't like the team wise. They had the young QB Jones. Like who they pick
Daniel
with the 4th
Jones.
pick? Like they weren't gonna pick Joe. Like they weren't gonna.
They weren't
pick
going
him.
to get him. Yeah,
Yeah,
they didn't get him.
Like they weren't.
But I just
No,
don't.
but I just mean that's how hard it is
Yeah.
to tank.
Yeah,
in
no,
this
like-
league. Like if they would have got
you know-
first overall, they still would have taken Chase Young. Like that's a given.
realistically, though, do you think it's even possible? Do you think Bill Belichick would even let it happen to lose 14 games, 2-14? Do you think Bill Belichick would even see that day? Like,
No,
that's
no,
what
no.
I'm saying.
Like,
ultimately, that's the reason why.
has he ever had a losing record? No, right?
I don't know. It's been. I don't think he's had many. If he has one, I'm not. I don't watch. I'm not a religious Patriots guy, but I know enough about him to say that they haven't had many losing seasons in the last 2
I don't
decades.
think he wants that on his
Yeah.
record.
Exactly.
This season he loses Brady.
Oh yeah, that's
He wants
true,
to win
too.
16
the
games.
Redemption, like, because the whole thing has been Tom Brady thrives in Bill Belichick's system, but now that now they're both separate.
They both want to win big
Tom
to
is
prove
trying
that
to
it was
prove
them,
a
not
point.
the other guy.
Tom went to a team with arguably the best receivers in the league, great defense, good offensive line, like way better situation than he was in New England. Better weather too. Tom in a whole different scenario. Now Bill's without Tom. Like it's gonna be they're both going for it this year. Even though Bill is fucking losing all his players. So that makes me think that he's trying to tank for Lawrence. But
I think that's even more reason to be like, yo, let's win 10 games. It'll be sick. I'm a legend.
here's the next point, okay? We saw in the MLB, they changed stuff in the middle of the year. There was a proposal recently that the NFL should cut its games in half, but the NFL was extremely against it, obviously because of the money. They want all the money they can get. They want a full season. Do we think that they'll cut games off the regular season this year?
No. They already cut 4
Who
preseason
proposed
games.
that?
It was in an article on the Athletic. It was like could be a potential outlet if something went bad. It was like if COVID struck, if there was outbreaks, like this is the one thing that could happen.
That's somebody who's on the bubble at the Athletic needs to write a story.
I could see them cutting games off the schedule. They already said MLB if they don't play 60 full games, they're going to go off winning percentage. Like it might. We don't know if it's possible because it hasn't started yet. So I wouldn't say it's out of the question.
Yeah, they could if there's a COVID thing, and then they just cancel a week.
They wouldn't anticipate having to do that. That would be something they'd change like mid-season. Be
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
change
That's what I'm
mid-season,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
do you think that's a possibility? Like, I think they'll just do whatever it
they'll
takes to
do
finish
that
this
before they
season.
cancel the season.
But you never know with the football scenario with fucking 70-man
But
rosters.
it is
whatever
easier to
is.
do that with football though, because everyone plays it the same week. So if you cut it off, everyone's played the same amount of games. It's not like baseball
They
where
could
you
also
end up
like
10 games
say
behind.
like a couple teams got an outbreak. What if they just like no one played that week and they like whole
They
week
could
of the
do
bye and
that.
they played the week after?
I think that's more likely that they'll do.
I didn't even read that. That's me off the
And then
top of my
just
head.
cut out everyone's bye week.
Or yeah, I mean, who cares if the season goes extra week long? They'd rather play the whole season.
Yeah.
The
Everyone
bye week,
recover.
the bye weeks. Yeah. The bye weeks was fuck shit up.
Be a pain in the ass. I bet
Oh,
you.
yeah,
I bet you
they
those
all
Super
have-
Bowl.
true,
I bet you
yeah.
those Super Bowl
That would
And they don't
contracts.
have a bye
up.
week.
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
screw everything up.
those teams.
They would
But
have to remove it. Then
I
at
bet
that
you those
point.
TV contracts for the Super Bowl are already booked and set.
Oh my god. Yeah, assuming it happens. But thinking of Super Bowl, you're talking about it. I'm interested to see what you guys think. Who takes it this year? I know you're a Ravens
don't
guy,
ask
so
me.
keep your bias out of it. I'll read you guys the odds, okay? So the Chiefs are favorites this year. Not much surprise there at plus 600. Ravens are second favorites at plus 650, so just below. 49ers plus 1,000. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the fourth favorite this year at plus 1,400.
I still think it's a reach.
That's a reach. I agree too. Cowboys plus 1,700 and Seahawks plus 2,000. After that, it gets pretty crazy. But Devin, I'm going to ask you,
Ask me why I think it's the Ravens.
why do you think it's the Ravens? I don't disagree with you. I do not disagree with you.
yeah.
Let's hear your reasoning. I want to add to it.
I think there's a lot. I mean, they didn't lose anybody, really. They drafted Patrick Queen in the first round. He's going to be sick, and that is a like cornerstone position, middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have that since they got rid of CJ Mosley. So they have that now. If he can be what they expect him to be, they have a quarterback on defense that can just take over. Lamar has progressed every single season. You saw how dominant he was last year, league MVP. I think he wins league MVP again because I think he only gets better. And everyone else, like Mahomes, as phenomenal as he is, I think he plateaus. I mean, you won the Super Bowl. I mean, runner up for MVP.
Yeah.
I think that's as good as it gets for him, and he'll be like that for 10 years, and it'll be great for them. But I think that Lamar still has another gear, and their defense got better. Their number one rated defense in the league last year got better.
What do you think, Jeremy, from your perspective?
I'm a Bills fan, but I think they'll.
I'm a Bills fan, but they have no chance. So next. Keep going.
I think if Tre'Davious White doesn't play, we don't have a chance. But I
didn't
think
opt out.
He didn't opt out.
No.
He decided. Okay. I think they'll make a run. I don't think they'll win, but I think they'll make a run. I mean, Mahomes. I love the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs.
You think they go
will
back to
make-
back?
I think they'll go to the Super Bowl. I don't know if they'll win, but
So let's talk about the AFC East since you brought it up. Do you think the Bills could take the AFC East
I
crown
think
this
it's
year?
their year. I mean, the Bills, everyone's just like so hyped up.
feel
They're
like
like,
you put
fuck,
pressure
Tom
on 'em,
Brady's
though.
out.
I think it's their year.
I feel like Josh Allen. You put anything can happen. That guy's a fucking gunslinger,
loose
And
cannon.
absolute loose cannon. That game, he'll run. He'll just
Oh
jump
my
over
God.
guys. That game in Dallas. Remember that shit?
Dude, that playoff game,
Yes.
I was like that was the first time I saw
was-
a player visibly nervous.
Oh my God,
Like,
yeah.
What do you
it
mean
was-
the playoff game?
I had
against
money. Hey, I had money on
Houston?
the
Yeah,
Bills.
yeah.
I had money on the Bills and I
Yeah.
lost money that day. Another
like
one I
when
lost.
he just ran and he just fumbled it like without no one even like coming near him. It was like holy shit.
He had
this
no
guy,
help that game.
Yeah. I mean, Josh Allen, like
He's
that
a-
guy can throw.
He can throw the shit out of the ball. He can throw like 90 yards. I thought a video of him throwing it
Yeah.
literally 90 yards.
Madden
in the air.
gave him a 99 in arm
Yeah,
strength.
he's the strongest arm in the league in the game.
Him and they were like gonna do like a video of him and Mahomes like doing some sort of collab
Mahomes
video
was
of them
pissed when
throwing.
that came out.
Yeah, he was
But,
mad. Yeah, for sure. That's so
yeah.
funny. But okay, so you think the Chiefs? You think the Ravens?
Yep.
I'm gonna side with Devin here. It's not very frequent
Hell
that I
yeah.
do. I'd like the Ravens this year. The reason is they are angry. They want to win it. Also, Hollywood.
They don't have a playoff win under Lamar.
Yeah.
That's going to change.
They also, one thing I want to point out is Hollywood Brown put on like 30 pounds of muscle this year. I saw a
Yeah.
tweet. He looks like an absolute brick shit house, that
Yep.
guy. Like, he is going to be nasty.
Did you see the pin that they took out of his foot?
No.
He had a Lisfranc surgery like 2 years ago.
That's bad.
And he ran with it was like a 2-inch pin in his foot that he played with all season.
And he's like one of the fastest receivers
Yeah.
in the league.
Yeah.
Insane. I think the Ravens, this is the year. I think Lamar is going to have I think he'll have just on par as he did last year. I don't know if he'll go for league MVP, but he'll have a sick year this year. I think he will. And he has the talent around him. Who do they have at running back still?
Ingram, and
still
then they
there?
drafted J.K. Dobbins in the second round.
Oh, he's going to be a beast.
He could have went.
He's a big guy too.
He could have been the first running back off the board. He went like 5th.
He'll be nasty.
third.
He'll be really good in the read option. Like when they do it,
Yeah.
they run pass options. He'll be unbelievable because they're gonna have to. He's a big guy. Like he runs hard as shit. And then obviously Lamar has the pull potential there too. But
And then they got Gus and Justice Hill as well. Those guys will be good for 2 snaps a game, but
yeah,
they'll make them count for positive yards for sure.
I'm interested to see though if like defenses start to figure out Lamar a little bit. Like I know you can only
They don't
contain
have an
him so-
offense or a preseason to be able to do that. So
I know, but like they're not gonna. They saw a full year of him last year. Like really got to see him. And like,
full year of him last year where he had the most throwing touchdowns as well.
Yeah.
do we think? I don't.
He was unstoppable.
He
the
was, but I think-
No matter what he was doing.
What happens if like people start to like actually read him well or something?
And
Or they get used to
durability
him?
is
Like,
I'm
Another
worried about
question,
the
too.
injury.
does he start getting frustrated?
He's also smart. He makes good decisions. Like I saw, like more than surprised than I thought. Like he makes great decisions with the ball. Like he'll run more often than he'll like throw an interception. Or just take it right.
Well, instead of throwing the ball away like Aaron
just-
Rodgers, who
Yeah.
great
don't,
deci-
don't you fuck you. Don't you
I'm
bring
trying
him
to
do
help
this.
you here. Great decision maker, but like when he gets into a tough situation, he'll throw it away. Lamar, whenever he gets into a tough situation, he just like shuffles to the left, gets a yard or two, and it's a positive play.
Yeah, I think looking at Lamar from an injury perspective.
I wasn't trying to hurt you.
No, I know. Well, anything Aaron Rodgers content I'm there for, I'm fired up for. So just don't even mention his name anymore.
Yeah, all right.
Anyways, what I was saying is injuries for any quarterback's a worry. Like as a Packers fan, I've seen Aaron Rodgers get tons of injuries throughout his career: collarbone, concussion. As long as Lamar's legs, like if he has a knee injury, like that could kill. Like,
and-
I'm not saying knock on wood, like hopefully he
Yeah.
doesn't, but like those
Oh, yeah.
kind of leg injuries to him, like those will slow him down. That would be Lamar without his legs is a different player, obviously. Like he's not he doesn't throw, he's not a pocket guy, even though he's getting better, but
Yeah, best
one
in the league.
injury could, derail his career. I
Yeah,
hate to say it,
100%. Then that's the worry.
So yeah, just looking at that, I still take the Ravens
Yep.
if he stays healthy. Ravens, that Ravens Chiefs game if they match up with the AFC, that would be a powerhouse.
Awesome game. That's
Holy-
what everyone was looking forward to this year.
I know.
And it
It's,
just never happened.
I can't.
Ravens lost to them last year. That was a tough one to watch, but
They're good. I
Excuse
mean,
me.
those two offenses though are like two of the most high powered in the
Yeah.
league. Like that's unreal. The 49ers in the NFC, like I don't know who's going to challenge them this year. Like the Seahawks, they're on my list here of they're a top 6 favorite. They have a shit offensive line. They're not going to be able to compete with the 49ers, even though that NFC West division is insane. They had the Rams.
I'm not sure
People
that
forget the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams are good.
They had a bad year, 9-7 last year. They are good.
Yeah.
They are like they had a down year, but 9-7 is a down year for not a lot of teams.
Like when they were
it's a
dominant.
down year in that division.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like when they were dominant, like everyone's like, "Holy shit!" Like these guys are gonna run it next year.
Oh.
And then they had like what did they do the year after they lost in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, to the
They had a shit
Patriots.
year, didn't
Yeah,
they?
they had like a bad year,
yeah.
and everyone's like, "Okay, now everyone's putting them aside," but like they
Yeah,
they
now
got a
that's-
good squad.
Yeah, they had a lot of pressure on them after that Super Bowl year
Yeah.
when they lost. But looking at it this year, look at the Cardinals too in that division.
That's what I'm
they're-
thinking. I'm not even sure
Kyler
if the
Murray,
49ers
I got him in
And now they
fantasy
got
this year. I got him
Hopkins.
in that fantasy league. And that
Put
in
Hopkins into that lineup, and you're just like, okay, that's a deadly offense.
It was a
Kyler
deadly
Murray,
offense
he's
before Hopkins got there. Like,
Yeah.
It was good, yeah. And Cliff Kingsbury's offense. He's a fucking
Yeah.
run and gun. Like perfect for Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray loves that coach. They love each other. You just added one of the best receivers in the whole entire league as a threat. Like that's gonna make teams. I don't know. Is David Johnson still in the Cardinals?
They
No.
traded Hopkins for David
he was in
Johnson.
that
They
trade.
got they halfway through they got that Miami.
Kenyon
Oh
Drake.
yeah, Kenyon Drake.
And he was-
went
he was
off.
amazing
Yeah,
on
he
that
took,
offense.
He
Incredible,
took
yeah.
David
Yeah.
Johnson's position. I had David Johnson in fantasy last year, and he was good. He was actually a beast in the first
Yeah.
couple of
He was
games.
terrible.
Got injured, and then he just had a couple points. He would play like a couple snaps a game, and then he just got traded.
My only concern for the Cardinals would be Hopkins coming in and just destroying Murray's confidence because he's going to want the ball every play, and if he doesn't get it, he will.
You've seen
don't
that
know.
with a lot of quarterbacks,
Yeah, yeah.
right? I think that's like Odell's
Because
thing. Like,
there's a lot
with
of
Eli
stuff-
Manning too. Like you heard him, he would rip Eli. He's like, throw me the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Like It almost hurts his confidence as a young QB too.
Yeah, because like they still have Christian Kirk. Larry's still there. I mean, like there's a lot of distribution.
Larry
that can go
fucking
around.
legend. That
He
guy
doesn't drop
He's
anything.
been fucking doing it.
I saw a tweet. It was like, when you still carry your bag, you just know you're like just an OG.
Yeah,
It was
he's-
like Larry carrying his bag to practice.
What a legend. He's such a legend. I've had him in fantasy multiple years. He's just he'll catch passes. He's not a huge run after catch guy. He's a great fantasy option. I looked.
And if you're late in your draft, like really late, don't overlook Dan Arnold in that offense either.
Who the hell
Tight
is
end.
Dan
Tight
Arnold?
end, yeah, tight end.
Look,
Is he their starter?
He should be. Yeah,
Who I don't even know who the other guy is.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Big Dan. Big something Dan.
Is that your sleeper of the year so far, or is that
That's one of them.
One of your sleepers?
Him and
Do you have him
Denzel
on
Min-
your team, or are you just
Denzel
saying
Min-
that?
I've
just-
drafted him
you're just
twice.
blowing smoke at
I've
your ass
drafted
right
him
now?
twice already. Big Dan. Anyway,
Anyways, all right, so we wrapped up. I took the Ravens, you took the Ravens, you took the Chiefs. Got that out of the way. Let's just hit on MLB really quick and the 12 teams across MLB's East and Central divisions that have had their schedules changed due to these outbreaks. We're going to see a ton of doubleheaders coming. Do you think the teams that are playing the doubleheaders, how that will weigh on them? Like how many doubleheaders can they play until it's like we're fucking gassed? Like they're going to be playing teams that haven't had to play doubleheaders. That's just an unlevel playing field, don't you guys think?
well, that's why they had to come out and do something with the 7-inning doubleheaders.
But how
and
much-
they cut it down a little, but
That is like you're still like 2 baseball games, 7-inning games. It's still 14 innings.
I think it changes
minimum.
a little bit because a lot of these doubleheaders, you're seeing maybe 2 pitchers get into
That's
the game.
true for like pitching
So
circumstances.
your bullpen will be fine, arguably.
Yeah, it doesn't affect the bullpen at all. It doesn't affect pitching at all.
You've
The only,
also-
the only thing it affects is they might have to play more games. Whatever, they're getting paid per game, so suck it up.
Yeah.
I don't know, but still, like it's a lot of games. Like I know they had a whole week off. Some of these teams even more than that. And you just said the Phillies got canceled today.
Cards.
Cards. When's the last time the Cards played a baseball game? Do you know?
No, they just canceled their series with Detroit
Yeah.
over the week
It's been
too.
a while. So I guess they get the rest now, but still, like you're gonna be blitzing. It's almost like a mini break. It's like an all-star break in the middle of the season, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully this doesn't weigh in too much. But there was a player on the Marlins, Harold Ramirez, who tested positive last week, and he just said, "quote unquote," a bubble would be a great idea right now.
They can't change.
How the fuck? Yeah, that's what I said. I saw that quote. I was like, I saw that quote. And I was like,
Thanks,
I
Harold.
gotta write
What
that
an idiot.
next. First of all,
What
who the fuck is
idiot.
Harold Ramirez?
Yeah, who?
Yo, who
Harold
the fuck is
Ramirez?
anybody on that Marlins
Yeah.
team? But they're winning.
6-1.
Yeah,
knows the
they're,
Marlins. Yeah,
they're
yeah.
winning.
They're winning.
But like, a bubble would be a great idea right now. Yeah, easier
No
easier
shit,
said
buddy.
than done.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
You guys were the ones who reportedly left their hotel to
Well-
go somewhere.
Well, let's just look at the numbers. Like, first of all, let's pretend it was possible. Look at these logistics here. NBA teams only have 15-man rosters. One MLB team equals 4 NBA teams in terms of roster size. There'd be 4 many times as hotel rooms, 4 many times daily COVID tests, food, etc.
Yeah.
It would be nearly impossible to bubble 2,000 MLB players almost. How? Like, first of all, you can't even keep 2,000 people away from COVID in general. Like, even
Yeah.
if you're quarantining, people are still going to get it. Like, as we said,
Law
they're
of
gonna,
averages.
Law of averages, right? So I don't think it's weird to see some guys commenting that like it would be nice right now when it's just not.
When they didn't
realistic.
want it. They
yeah,
didn't
they all
want it.
didn't want
Yeah.
it. Mike Trout, remember he said
Yeah.
he literally tweeted. He's like, yeah, like months away from my family. I don't think anyone would want to
Yeah,
do that.
no
Clayton
one wants
Kershaw
to do
said,
it.
"Fuck that."
Yeah.
Like, and they even proposed. Was it like 3 hub cities? They like that originally was like Florida, Arizona.
Yeah, they were
or
gonna
whatever.
have they were gonna
Like, I
have
would
per
think
division. I think it
having,
was
like,
4.
per
Was it
division,
4?
yeah.
Okay, then
4
that makes
and
sense in the
division.
ratios we just talked
Yeah.
about. But like even then, like it's still players are still away from their families.
Yeah.
For,
Yeah.
The matter of fact is the NBA and NHL were in playoffs or they were in the season already. So it's
Yeah.
not like they're gonna have to go through a whole season of bubble, right? So that's why it's easier there. But these
Well,
NFL teams, like these MLB teams, they're playing a full season, and it's just not. There's no way it's doable. And even someone to say that, I feel like it just makes it worse, right? It just adds
Yeah.
fuel to the fire.
And the NHL, like they've only been in there for like 2 weeks, and teams are already eliminated and leaving. So
Yeah.
Speaking of the NHL, we're going to take a little transition here. We did this in the last
Way-o.
episode. We're
Kinda
going to check
nervous,
in
actually.
on Dev's, the NHL expert, should I say, how he's picked the play-in rounds of the NHL playoffs. So let's run through it, okay? Let's start in the Eastern Conference. Penguins versus Canadians. Canadians are up
These
2-1 in the
are
series. Devin picked the Penguins.
pick the Pens.
How do you feel? Do you feel confident about your pick? Are you going to change your pick?
No, I don't feel confident in my pick.
Canadian-
They're down 2-1.
But it's the Penguins.
I'm picking the Penguins still.
Oh, you are?
Oh, I'm gonna stick with it.
Down
I'm just
2-1?
not confident. You asked me if I was confident.
Jeremy, do you think Devin's an idiot or do you agree with him?
You'd be crazy to pick Montreal. Whoever picked Montreal to
They're
start
winning 2-1. They need one game to win.
Montreal, it's an like
You'd be crazy
Pit-
to pick them at the beginning.
Pittsburgh.
Am I missing
As
something
a
there?
hockey fan, Pittsburgh fans are embarrassed right now. They're embarrassed that they're losing to Montreal.
Okay, the next question is the next? Can you look up where the next game is? Is it in? I guess. It's in the
It's in the
bubble.
bubble, man.
Oh my. Oh my
That's worse
God.
than the.
This is
All right, scrap it.
this guy knows nothing about the NHL.
I know there's in a bubble. I don't know why. Even, I'm looking at records here. I'm
Should be
looking at
on the
100 games.
fly, not in the box.
You need to know Montreal was not expecting to be in the playoffs. They made a couple trades, did they not?
They're looking gritty as hell. They're
I
up
can't
2-1.
remember.
They're sitting pretty. They
Pittsburgh
need-
is playing so bad. Like they need to kick the shit out of them.
You think? Okay, so
Pittsburgh made a
They
goalie
will
change
come back.
for today.
Yeah, they're changing their goalies.
you
today.
both think Pittsburgh then?
I still think.
I
Okay,
still-
I
I
don't
still
know.
think
As I
Pittsburgh,
said,
yeah.
my opinion means literally negative, so I'm just not even gonna comment.
It
So I'll be
depends.
moderator here.
Literally, and as obvious as this is, that series comes down to who wins today. Montreal wins, series
Is
over.
that game tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pittsburgh wins. They win the next one too. I think.
Okay, so you guys both say I'm loading that. So Jeremy
Pittsburgh,
and I got Jeremy and Dev both on the Penguins. So next episode, boys.
I actually got money on the Pens today. Actually,
Do you? Okay, so Jeremy and Dev are on it. Okay, next game in the Eastern Conference: Islanders versus Panthers. Islanders lead 2-1.
I think Islanders
It's
just
the
won
game's
that
on
series.
right now. Yeah,
Did the Islanders win?
it's the third period.
They're winning 3-1 right now. So
the
it's
third.
looking like they're gonna win the series. Do you remember? You picked the Islanders, right?
Hell yeah.
I think the Panthers
had-
are trash. I don't even. Are they?
No,
trash?
no, no. The Panthers weren't a bad team. They're just one of those teams that have skill and just like they just kind of threw a bunch of people together. That's how I
Yeah,
see them as.
honestly.
While the Islanders are completely different. They're like a system team, and that team was built like lose their GM, which is great GM, and he built that team. And Barry Trotz is their coach. That was a weird transition, but no, the Islanders just like a gritty team.
Ready. So I mean, it's looking like they're gonna win. So let's go to the next matchup. Every time we talk about this game, it makes me angry. Leafs versus Blue
Hell yeah.
Jackets. Blue Jackets lead 2-1. Dev, you picked the Leafs.
No, listen.
You picked the Leafs to win the series.
Yeah,
Who do you like tonight? Do you think the Blue Jackets get it done, or do you think the Leafs get
I
it
gotta
done?
defend myself a little bit because
Okay.
I picked the Leafs because I have to because Spezza needs a cup. I still think I want them to win. I don't think they will. I want them to.
So what? I'm thinking, by who you want doesn't fucking matter on this podcast. I want answers. I want who you think gets it done.
Columbus
tonight.
looks good.
So you think Columbus does it tonight to the Leafs? 3-1.
Did you see what happened last game?
They were
Actually,
up 3-0, weren't they?
Can I
Or
rant
2-0?
for a quick minute?
Please give our listeners.
I got a
some
rant about
entertainment.
Devin after this.
All right. Yeah.
Go ahead, please. I'm all ears.
All right. The Toronto Maple Leafs historically have to be like the biggest embarrassment in sports for the last like what? How many years?
I don't fucking
I
know.
have-
I don't watch.
I have
40 something since 67.
honestly, Cole, I got people in my family that care so much about this team.
is
You
a
know
clip
how
of
hard?
this shit.
Do you know how hard it is for me to sit there and watch them suck so bad? Year after year, they have how many first round picks?
A lot.
First overall
No,
picks,
they
for
haven't
God's
had-
sake.
They haven't had many first overall.
No. I mean, how many first overall picks do they have on that team?
Okay.
Matthews,
Yeah.
Tavares,
Yeah.
Nylander.
Nylander, no.
Was he not?
No.
Or Marner, sorry. Marner,
no,
sorry.
No, Marner was.
Marner was fourth overall.
Marner
It's
was
still a
up
top
there.
five.
It was up
No,
there.
I mean first round pick. Sorry.
okay, first top 10. Let's say top 10.
Age aside, Spezza's a first round pick. Cece was a first round pick. I'm pretty sure Tyson Berry was.
He's had to be. He was like so highly touted. That guy is fucking
So
dog
like
shit.
age and history aside, this team has so much talent. Somebody looked at these guys at one point and said, you know what, you've got some kind of X factor. You're going in the first round. And the Leafs got them all and they can't do shit. They go out in the first round every year and it's hard to watch. And if they can't pull this one together,
I'm a Sens fan, and
You guys both are.
I hate.
Yeah.
I hate when they say this is a bad matchup for the Leafs. They were saying that before the series.
Like,
Come on, why is
It's
it always a
excuses.
bad matchup?
how can the Leafs have a bad matchup? On paper, that's the
Yeah.
best team in like the last
Yeah.
10 years.
How do you have a bad matchup for 40 fucking years in a row?
Go
I don't
ahead.
know.
About to
I'm
make
just-
it 41. Literally.
Like you're running out of
More than that.
excuses.
It's more,
67
really.
to whatever. I didn't do the fucking math.
Oh God! Don't even do it. It'll make us too depressed. So too many people in the office are down about yesterday. So
Like I'm
All right.
raising my blood pressure over the Leafs, and that's
53
never
years.
happened.
53 fucking years, about to be 54. I'd
I
put
don't
money
even
on that.
I don't even care about what happened 40 years ago. I just care that the team that they've put together now. How are you not winning with this team? It just
Is it
does not
coaching?
make
Is it
sense.
coaching?
No, it's not coaching. I like
They went
their
out and got
coach.
one of the best
Don't they
coaches
like
in
their
history.
coach? They like the new coach.
I like
do
it.
it.
I like it. He's a good guy.
Didn't they
Can't
cut?
wait.
They dropped what's his name? Babcock. Is
Yeah,
that his
Babcock
name?
was a piece
Yeah,
of
they
shit.
went out and got Chief Keef.
I don't know what the fuck that means, but I've heard he's a better coach. The players like him better. Everyone likes him better. They did
They
good
can't,
once
they
they got him
can't just
too.
keep blaming the coaches. They do it all
There's
the time.
always excuses.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Anyway,
As
that's
a-
how I
so-
feel.
So you think Blue Jackets? You think Blue Jackets?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the Leafs will kill the Jackets tonight. I'm a Sens
think
fan. This guy's a Sens fan, and this guy did this guy just say he wanted the Leafs to win the Stanley Cup?
No, I said I wanted Spezza to win the Stanley Cup.
That's
That's
still the Leafs.
absurd.
That's
That's
insane.
absurd.
I don't get the rivalry there, but it's
I don't know.
That's actually absurd.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
give a shit about Spezza. As a
Alright.
Sens fan, he kind of screwed
Big,
us over.
big
a little
Cody
bit.
Cece guy too.
Cody Cece sucks. Cody Cece sucks.
I love Cody Cece.
But
we're getting
no,
some laughs from
I
the
got-
peanut gallery today.
I got
we're funny today.
I got the Leafs killing them because they've, I watched a little radio on the way here, and they are known to bounce back after a shit game, and they've done it before.
So-
I think they kill them, and I think they lose a heartbreaker in Game 5. I think that's what happens.
So you're saying, if I was a gambling man, which I am,
I would put money on the Leafs tonight.
Yeah, I got that.
after this episode, I'm gonna put money in the Leafs tonight.
I
I'll
would
be
put money
back
on
if
the
they
Leafs tonight.
lose.
They will kill
I'll be
them.
0-5 since
If
I've
they
given
lose,
picks on
I
this
will wear
podcast.
I
Leafs
was just
gear on
gonna
the
say,
next
if you have
podcast.
any sort of instinct at all, do the opposite
If
of what
you-
Sandy's doing.
I might start offering a fade Sandy Plashkus package, is where I give picks and then you take the exact opposite. You'd be rich. You would be rich. I might start offering that.
I learned that the
immediately.
hard way. The first day I came into work, this guy goes running in, goes put money on what was the soccer team name?
That fucking
I go
some
make-
over, probably some Man
Yeah.
United over.
Yeah, I
or
go,
something.
I make an account. I'm like, let's put
Make
20
an
bucks.
account.
I make a brand new account, put the card on. I'm like, fuck, like this guy, like he's a genius with betting.
Yeah.
Put 20 bucks, lose it instantly.
He's so confident. He went out and built an account.
Everyone just fade me from now on until I get back on my hot streak, which I have been. I have my good runs, but I've been on a cold streak, so fade me. So take the Blue Jackets tonight if you like money. Period. Let's move to the Western Conference. Let's wrap this up. Oilers versus Blackhawks. Blackhawks lead 2-1. Dev, I have you noted here as taking the Oilers. Do you still like that pick?
Just because I don't want to go back on my word, I want to take them. I don't. It's so hard for
Go
me
back
to,
on your word if you don't like them. Be honest to our listeners. You're giving some advice here.
the NHL expert. Come on.
Yeah. NHL insider, Dev
Give them some
Simser.
content.
Yeah.
They got to make their bets.
If Chicago goes for it, they don't do it tonight. Edmonton wins tonight. I don't know. I look at the lineup, and that's all you can really do. McDavid, Draisaitl, they've got to do something. They got to do it now.
That would be tough if they lost. Wow.
I got Edmonton. I think Connor McDavid's just gonna. He's not.
He's
gonna
gonna take it
happen.
on his back.
Yeah, he's not.
So you
gonna
guys
let it
taking the
happen.
Dogs. You took the Dogs. You took the Penguins who are down 2-1, and now you're taking the Oilers who are down 2-1. I like it. I like the strategy.
Well,
I don't-
It's a best out of 5. It's like being in a best
two
out of
straight
7. It's like
games.
being down 3-2. Like everyone
Yeah.
comes
Still,
down.
though, that's a big
Like, it's
game.
not-
A lot of
Yeah.
pressure on the
Yeah.
line.
A lot
but-
of the time, whoever wins that tying series
Yeah.
game goes on and wins the next one as well.
it's
So
true.
It is.
there's
So-
only they've got to win 2, but really they got to win 1.
All right, that's a little stretch there, but I like the confidence nonetheless. I do like the confidence. So we got 3 more games in the Western Conference. Predators versus Coyotes. Coyotes lead 2-1.
It's a tough one.
You took the Preds,
Yeah.
which is another iffy one because they're down 2-1.
Yes,
How do
they
you
are.
feel about it, both you guys? Preds versus Coyotes.
I had the Preds before the series started, and it was mostly because the shit show that's going on with the Coyotes with the GM just leaving.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah, that's
yeah,
insane.
because he got apparently the Devils were poaching him or something.
Oh, jeez.
But I'm
It's
gonna
like a non-compete. He can't
yeah
go anyway.
Yeah, it was so fucking dumb.
Screw himself.
I'm going. I think I'm gonna stick with the Preds.
What about you?
Oh, I'd be interested to.
That was a deep breath.
I'd be interested to
wrap
see
another
what
goal
kind of changes the Preds make. I saw a tweet come out this morning of a projected lineup where they actually have Matt Duchene scratched, which I think is bold. He should be one of the team's best players. If he's scratched, I think that's a big mistake. I think the Coyotes take that, and that lineup, honestly, that game's coming up in like, if it's not on
Any
already.
second, yeah.
What time is it?
No, it's 2:30 almost.
Yeah, okay, so that game's coming up in seconds. That lineup's already out. I just haven't seen it. If Duchene's not on it, Coyotes are going to win. If Duchesne's on that,
One
He was-
player makes the biggest difference.
he was offside last game when Turris scored a big goal to put them up in that game.
So they missed a call, is what you're saying?
No, he was definitely offside. And they called it offside.
Oh, they did? Okay.
I think if he wasn't offside and that puck still goes in, that's a big momentum changer. And they actually win yesterday's game anyway. So I think he's got a big chip on his shoulder. If he's in that lineup, I think he's got a lot to prove, and they come out and they win that game.
There you go. You heard it here first. Last game in the Western Conference that's still active. Canucks versus the Wild. Canucks up 2-1. You took the Canucks, which is good. You feel better now. You finally picked one that's leading.
Well,
what do you guys think? Who takes it?
I had the Canucks. I think they're a good young team, and they look. I was kind of like, holy shit! The first game when they lost, what, 2-0?
Way something.
Yeah.
I can't
Anyways,
remember.
but no, they're gonna take it. Wild are just like,
I don't-
they're just so old. They're so old.
They just have no chance.
Yeah,
Is that
they
your
just
thing?
have no chance.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna
gonna-
straight up. I'm gonna stay with the Canucks. They looked really, really good. Was it yesterday? The day
Yeah,
before?
they beat them pretty good.
Yeah.
Money. So that was an easy last one. That was
Yeah.
wrap up the NHL discussion.
Like
you heard the picks.
Canucks are the lock for me.
That's the lock.
Yeah,
All right. If
yeah.
you like money, bet the Canucks tonight. As we were saying, everyone heard Jeremy and Dev's picks for the NHL. We will be back on the next episode to run down how they did. Thanks for tuning in. We will be back with more fire activity on Thursday. See you then.
You bet.